Greetings to Madam N, and today I will be presenting my task 2 for TSLB3523. And this is my profile, and this is the task question, and these are the video chosen by me for this task. The first one is the speech by Theresa May, which is entitled Britain, the Great Meritocracy, and the second one is the speech by Hillary Clinton, Be Resilient. Both are available in YouTube and also the links are as in display. So, for the introduction part, General British English and General American English are two prominent varieties of English, each with distinct phonological characteristics. These differences include consonant and vowel sounds, stress patterns, intonation, and rhythm, contributing to the unique auditory qualities of each accent. Although being two different accents, there are still some similarities between the two. Here, I list out three similarities between the two. The first one, grammar rules, and more precisely, the subject verb object word order. Both primarily follow a subject verb object word order for declarative sentences. This can be seen throughout the whole speech by both speakers. The second one is consonants. Both utilize a very similar set of consonant phonemes, which is the basic sound units. These include plosives, fricatives, affricates, nasals, liquids, and approximants. The third one is intonation, which is more precisely the pitch variations. Both speakers modulate their pitch to highlight specific words and express feelings throughout their whole speech. Next, I will explain the differences of the two accents. First one, we will start with consonant differences, which is more precisely rhoticity. In general American English, it is rhotic, which means it produces the sounds in all positions. For example, the word hard is pronounced hard. We can clearly hear the being produced in the word hard. This can be found in the timestamps in 21st minute and 45th seconds in the video. In contrast, for General British English, it is non-rhotic, which means it does not pronounce the sound unless followed by a vowel. For example, the word hard just now is pronounced hard, hard in British English, which we cannot hear the sound being produced in that word. And this is proven in the speech made by Theresa May in the timestamp which is shown at 3 minutes and 20 seconds. The next consonant differences is T flapping. So, in general American English, the t sound between vowels often becomes a flap, sounding like a quick d. For example, better is pronounced better, better, and this is proven in the 15 minutes and 50 seconds of Hillary Clinton's speech. However, in general British English, the t sound is typically pronounced clearly, without flapping. For example, better is pronounced better. We can clearly hear the t sound being produced in the word better, and this is proven in the video at the 4th minute and 8 seconds of her speech. Next, I will explain the vowel differences between the two accents. We will start with diphthongs. So, in general American English, they uses a diphthong in words like go, pronounced as go, go. And this can be found in the 22 minutes and 55 seconds of Hillary Clinton's speech. And in general British English, it uses a different diphthong for the same word, which is go, and it is pronounced as go, go. And this can be proven in the 3rd minutes and 29 seconds of Theresa May's speech. The next vowel differences that I would like to explain is the trap bath split. So, in general American English, it uses a short a vowel in words like path. For example, in the 20th minute and 12 seconds of Hillary Clinton's speech, she mentioned about the word pathway, and in the pathway, the word path is pronounced path. It is the A in the path is pronounced like a. However, in general British English, it uses a long a vowel in the same words. For example, in the 30th minutes and 40 seconds of Theresa May's speech, the word path is pronounced as path, path. So there is a differences between how these two accents uh, pronounce the word path. In American English, it is path, and in British English, it is path. Next, I will explain the stress differences between both speakers. We will start with Theresa May. Her speech have a measured, deliberate pace with clear articulation of stressed syllables, which is very common in general British English. For example, in the 4th minute and 24 seconds of the video, she said, "I want Britain to be the world's great meritocracy." In that word, meritocracy, she clearly stressed the syllable me and talk, which, if it was pronounced as a word, meritocracy. And this is evident in the video, in the 4th minute and 24th second. Next, I'll explain about the stress differences for Hillary Clinton's speech. Her speech would likely to have a more dynamic and varied pace, with clear emphasis on keywords. Now, this is clearly shown in the 14 minute and 23 seconds of the video. She said, "The habits of the heart that de Tocqueville found so unique in the American character." In that sentence alone, she clearly emphasized on the keywords such as habits, heart, unique, and American character. And this is not the only sentence in her speech where he does the clear emphasis on keywords. There are much more um, instances in the video where it was clearly shown that she she liked to emphasize on keywords on her sentence when she deliver her speech. Next, I will explain about the intonation differences between both speakers. First, Theresa May. Theresa May's intonation is more reserved and less dramatic than Clinton's. She used suitable pitch variations to convey emphasis and emotion, rather than wide swings in pitch. Her speech have a more consistent and less varied pitch range. This is clearly shown between the timestamps of 11 minutes and 50 seconds to 11 minutes and 57 seconds in the video. She said, "If you're earning 19, 20, 21,000 pounds a year, you're not rich. You're not well off." And uh, this is not the only instances in the video where she have this more low and less dramatic pitch than Clinton's. And this is a very common way of speaking in general British English, which is with a subtle pitch, and they don't have these very uh, big changes in pitch while they're speaking. They are more consistent when they are speaking. Next is Hillary Clinton. Clinton used a wider pitch range and more frequent pitch changes to convey emphasis and emotion. She employed more dramatic rising and falling intonation patterns, especially when emphasizing points or expressing strong feelings. In between the timestamps of 21st minute and 12 seconds until the 22 minutes and 30 seconds of her speech, she said, "Even I, who had once hoped to beat him, was ecstatic. It was such a hopeful moment, and yet in some ways, this moment feels even more hopeful because this is a battle-hardened hope, tempered by loss and clear-eyed about the stakes. And in her speech, this is not the only instances where she have these phrases like battle hardened, tempered by loss, and cleared eyed, which is um, which is clearly to express her feelings, and she is more into her speech, and she use wider pitch range. And why is this so? It is because in American English they often use a more dynamic intonation, which leads to a more frequent pitch variation for emphasis and emotion. It is a cultural cultural norms of- for the expressiveness in the United States, which might also encourage a broader vocal range. And next one, I will explain about the rhythm differences between both speaker. For Theresa May, her speech rhythm leans slightly towards a more syllable time feel, with unstressed syllables retaining slightly more duration than in typical general American British. And for Hillary Clinton, her overall rhythm can be perceived as more dynamic and varied, with more pronounced contrast between stressed and unstressed syllables. And that is all for my presentation today. And this is the references that I use for my presentation. And now it's for the Q&A session. And for those who have questions, you might ask right now.
So I have a question. What is the most noticeable difference between GBE and GAE for most people?
Thank you for the question. So, the most noticeable difference for most people is pronunciation. This includes variations in vowel sounds like the trap bath split, consonant sounds, and even stress patterns within words. While vocabulary and spelling differences exist, but most of the time, pronunciation is often the first and most striking distinction when someone unfamiliar with both varieties will notice. And that is all for the Q&A session, and that is all for my presentation. Thank you.